Deep End by Ali Hazelwood as a 10-minute book. Penelope Ross, during a mimosa-fueled birthday brunch, lamented her sex life to Stanford's diving roster, sparking a series of events that would deeply impact those around her. Her friend, Scarlett Vandermeer, a German-American athlete recovering from her third surgery, found herself caught in the crossfire of Penn's romantic woes. Vandy, having spent much of her life feeling as though she did not quite measure up, listened as Penn confided about the sex with her boyfriend, Lukas Blomqvist. Vandy's background was a complex one. Her mother died when she was 2, and she was raised by her stepmother, Barb, from Bumfuck, Mississippi. Diving was always Vandy's escape, and her stepmom was always her rock. When Vandy was 13, Barb ended her abusive relationship with Vandy's father and ensured they both received therapy. Throughout it all, diving was Vandy's solace. Intrigued and slightly horrified by the overshare, Vandy found herself offering unsolicited advice to Penn about exploring kink and BDSM to spice up her relationship. Penn, ever the social butterfly, latched onto the idea, confessing that Lukas was very single-minded in the bedroom. To Vandy's surprise and discomfort, Penn then enlisted her to discuss the topic with Lukas. During a chance encounter at the pool, Vandy, ever protective of her friend, confronted Lukas, misinterpreting a situation and asking Penn if she needed anything. Penn, amused by Vandy's concern, laughed it off, but the seeds of an unconventional arrangement had been sown. Soon after, Penn and Lukas broke up. Later, Lukas texted Vandy, out of the blue, and they met at the pool. As they stretched, Lukas confronted Vandy, and she questioned him about his feelings for Penn and whether he would have been happy with vanilla sex forever. Vandy found herself drawn to Lukas's intensity and directness. He had received Penn's drunken wish and was ready to explore a different side of himself with Vandy. An email arrived. "What you need. If you decide to go for it, I think it should be me." Vandy was soon entangled in a complex web of emotions and desires. Their exploration began tentatively. Vandy, a self-proclaimed neurotic perfectionist, found herself drawn to the idea of control and discipline within a sexual context. Lukas, in turn, seemed intrigued by Vandy's hidden depths. They started with a BDSM checklist. Vandy researched BDSM and debated sharing it with her high school boyfriend. Lukas, though, didn't give her the satisfaction, stating that she seemed touch-starved. One night at a party, Lukas stated Vandy was touch-starved and lonely. He then laid out 2 options: say nothing, and he would never bring it up again, or acknowledge what was happening between them. Their first encounter was charged with a raw, untamed energy. In the library, their kiss was interrupted by noise, leaving them both breathless and wanting more. Vandy, conflicted and concerned about Penn's feelings, insisted that Lukas talk to her ex. He promised he would take care of it. As they delved deeper into their arrangement, Vandy began to confront her past traumas and insecurities. She realized her attraction to BDSM stemmed from her experiences with her abusive father, who sought to control and degrade her. Lukas, with his dominant presence and willingness to explore her boundaries, offered her a sense of safety and control she had long craved. Vandy sought guidance from her therapist, Sam, about her block. Sam did research and asked about smaller scales. Vandy denied anything else was happening. Vandy, with Mariam's help, worked on her med school application and personal statement. After many rewrites, Mariam told her to be honest. Meanwhile, Penn struggled to come to terms with the breakup and the unconventional relationship between her ex and her friend. She confessed to Vandy that she had initiated the breakup because Lukas was not passionate. She gave her blessing. Their arrangement, however, was not without its complications. Vandy, still grappling with her past, found herself struggling to reconcile her growing feelings for Lukas with her loyalty to Penn. Lukas, in turn, found himself drawn to Vandy's vulnerability and strength, but wary of hurting Penn. Lukas took Jan home after Jan visited. Vandy felt the need to be different because Lukas was resolute and knew what he wanted. Lukas didn't call Vandy after their night together. After a competition, Vandy was drinking at a bar when Lukas showed up. She wanted no part in the messy breakup. Lukas's room was immaculate. Later, Vandy woke up in Lukas's bed and snuck out. Lukas is exactly what Vandy wanted. That week, Vandy got a 7-10 on her German assignment and called Barb. As the bruises Lukas had left faded, she pressed into them, hoping they would last. Vandy used to define herself by how well she could perform. Part of her wanted to feel the rage of having been used, but it didn't add up. The tension between the three friends reached a boiling point when Penn, fueled by alcohol and unresolved feelings, made a shocking proposition: a threesome. Vandy and Lukas, both taken aback, refused, leading to a heated argument and further fracturing their already strained relationships. Afterward, during training, Coach Sima applauded Vandy's back 3.5 somersault tuck, one of her most difficult dives. Lukas, seeing Vandy's discomfort and loneliness, took her to his friend Kyle's room and engaged in intense, sensual activity. Vandy felt a mix of violence, control, and tenderness. After the encounter, Lukas promised to clean her up. Vandy fell asleep, wondering what his reply would look like the next morning. Over time, Vandy and Lukas grew closer, sharing intimate moments and vulnerable confessions. He told her she was a fucking dream. Vandy became more comfortable expressing her desires and boundaries. One night, Lukas admitted he was there because she seemed touch-starved and lonely. They laid out ground rules and safe words. He wanted to know her triggers so he could steer away. They were open with each other. Vandy revealed her father was increasingly abusive, and she didn't like raised voices. As their physical and emotional connection deepened, Vandy and Lukas found themselves falling in love. One morning, Vandy woke up with the urge to express what she wanted. Lukas told her he could do whatever he wanted until she said stop. Vandy traced his tattoos. At a party, Kyle called her Scarvan. Lukas looked at her like he could see the little crumpled piece of paper tucked in a corner of her head. Despite their growing feelings, Vandy and Lukas struggled to navigate the complexities of their situation. Penn's ongoing presence and Vandy's own insecurities created a constant undercurrent of tension. They went back to his place and had sex. Later, Vandy texted Lukas, "Pearls to swine." He replied that he wasn't flattered but would love to see her. They had a breakthrough after Vandy completed her dive successfully. Afterward, she was crying. He kissed the tears off her cheeks. The situation came to a head during a diving competition when Penn, distraught and jealous, confronted Vandy and Lukas, accusing them of betraying her. She took everything from Vandy. Lukas finally revealed that he and Penn had broken up months ago. In the aftermath, Vandy and Penn's friendship fractured, leaving Vandy feeling guilty and conflicted. She wrote Penn a letter expressing her feelings. In response, Penn said Vandy wasn't there for her to apologize, so she started with Lukas. Lukas encouraged Vandy to confront her fears and embrace her desires. He confessed his love for her and expressed his willingness to explore a future together, regardless of the challenges they might face. One day, May took Vandy aside before her flight home. She asked Vandy about her feelings toward diving and her goals. Lukas met her after training. He said they had plans. They traveled to Amsterdam, where they confronted their feelings and made plans for the future. It was beautiful. At the end of the day, Vandy couldn't remember what they discussed. During their stay, Lukas revealed that he had asked Penn to approach Vandy because he sensed a hidden depth within her. He admitted he had fallen for her early on. That night, the pieces fell together for Penelope when Scarlett apologized for being late. The two went out to the balcony together to watch the sun set. It had been there all along. Back at Stanford, Vandy and Lukas committed to building a life together, one filled with passion, honesty, and unwavering support. Their relationship wasn't without its challenges, but they were determined to navigate them together, hand in hand. With this, Vandy said she loved him. The entire universe was here, in his arms. Vandy pursued her medical career, diving and corpse stuff. Lukas supported her every step of the way. They looked forward to a future filled with travel, rescue animals, and morally bankrupt amounts of sex. They looked forward to all of it. Thanks for listening to this 10-minute book. If you enjoyed the story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more bite-sized books. Got a book in mind you'd love to hear in 10 minutes? Drop it in the comments below. See you in the next one.